Hello, hello, just Antoine here. How to do my time, the prison perspective. And so I wanted to do this podcast because I've been doing prison ministry for 26 years since 1995. So, no, 1996. So, 22 years, something like that. And I had to get my time right. But you know, as I've been doing prison ministry, the first thing I realize is that when you're incarcerated, life tends to slow down and present a whole lot of different challenges um, to you. And so there is a need for us to know how to do our time. And some prisoners look to the Bible for aid, for help, for the church to help and kind of ease that burden of doing time. But I want to give a different perspective, uh, and I want to bring about a different perspective and get some people to come on this podcast to share with us, how was it doing time and what helped them and how that it benefited them to be able to take this time while incarcerated and maximize it for the benefit of their future and those that were counting and depending on them. And so I've been encouraging um, offenders, ex-offenders to really buckle down and use their time wisely because it's you do have a whole nother set of circumstances, but they are not as severe. And from my standpoint, they're not as severe as if you were outside. Because a lot of times God wants to get our attention and he can't get our attention because we are so busy destroying our own lives. And so what he does, he allows us to get incarcerated to slow us down long enough to really talk to us and minister to us so that we can get the point that he's trying to give us. And so when you find yourself doing time and you know the Lord or come to know the Lord, then there is a demand that is put on your life to change for the better. And so if you're not about your business, and I call it getting your paper, building your faith in God and realizing who you are and whose you are, then you are wasting your time. I know that the prisoners have their own type of mindset and mentality that's been passed down through generations and generations, and it changes and varies from different sales and different facilities and things of that nature, but it's pretty much the same. And so, but there are some variations. And so, if you're going to do your time, God wants you to take that time and get to know yourself, right? Get to know and overcome some things that you have been that has historically held you back from being the best you that you can be. And so I encourage men and women that find themselves incarcerated to do their time wisely, right? To take the time that God spared their life and use that time to really get to know themselves and their maker. And so this podcast has been designed to uh, help those that are incarcerated, even those that are free, to really use their time wisely and get the best out of every moment of time. Um, There's a famous saying. I say it's famous, but it's been said a lot by various people, is that God knows my heart. And usually, when a person says that, they are trying to give an excuse why they're not doing what they should be doing. And they're saying that God knows their heart. They're not doing what they should be doing, but God knows their heart, and what they desire to do. And so I get it. I've been there, done that, and find myself there sometimes still. But God spoke to my heart and he said that you can know your own heart. He says, because wherever your treasure is, that's where your heart is also. And so I started pondering on that, and really seeing what God was saying to me about that. And he says, your time is your most precious possession. And if you can monitor your time, where you spend your time, you can find your treasure, right? And so when you use your commodity, your time, and start evaluating how you do your time and what you do with your time, you can find out where your heart is. So not only can God know your heart, but you can know your own heart. And guess what? You can change your heart if you change your activity. And so this podcast is designed to help you to do your time. To help you, that's your food, son. To help you do your time and to do your time wisely. So when you get out, you can be a giant of a man, be a giant of a woman, be a person that has changed, that has done a 180-degree change, turn, for the better. And so this is what this podcast is all about. So this is the intro. I will be coming to you probably on a weekly basis at least, to share some things, and I'll be having some guests on, talking about the prison perspective and how to do your time. Y'all be blessed. Just Antoine, and we'll see you at the top. Bye for now.